You learn how to work with emotions. You start to change the emotional signals. You move teams from conflict to connection. And that's huge. So how do you do that? We have different options. You can do basic course, which is emotional connection made easy for all employees. I feel like the more people learn about the language of emotions, the more they understand how people get into negative cycle, the more they can actually help each other to step out of the negative cycle. Because if you're in a negative cycle and you don't know what to do, guess what? You go to another team and you judge, complain, criticize, lecture, or blame other people. So now you're creating more negative cycles. So the negative cycles actually spread out throughout the company because you don't understand how to work with emotions, how to share that emotion with your manager, with your coworker, and say, I get so scared. I get so scared that I probably failed, and maybe just even sharing that what is happening with you instead of blaming, judging, or criticizing helps the other person to be there for you. So the basic course really teaches you the slow motion camera, the 6 responses, and ARE a little bit, how to be accessible, responsive, engaging. The masterclass teaches you the reconnection form, the 5 techniques, and really understand the negative cycle so you can create this bonding conversation to shift and to restructure the pattern. And the trainer certification helps you to learn how to teach that into your company. The more people learn about attachment, about emotions, the better the culture becomes. Because people start to learn how to navigate through this difficult conversation. Everything becomes easier to do. Learn all of these tools in all of these courses.
Like, obviously it helps like on a one-on-one standpoint, but how else does this help a company? What are the things, that, are there any statistics or numbers, or just in general, like how does this help a company and not just like an individual or like a one-on-one relationship? Is there things maybe, financially it helps, or what overall can mastering this really potentially help a company thrive with?
Well, it helps the company because you, first of all, create a better environment for people to work. It helps the company because you have less turnover. The part of our survival code, our thriving code, is connection. So when people feel more connected, they feel happier at work. They feel less exhausted. They feel more supportive. So all of that, they look at the organization differently. Definitely, it saves money, it saves talent, it saves the culture, it creates that supportive environment. The Myers-Briggs just published a study. It shows that 4.3 hours per week is spent on workplace conflicts. Every employee spends 4.3 hours on conflict, and it can be active conflict or it can be hidden conflict. So, for example, disengagement is a hidden conflict. Active conflict, obviously, you have people who are pursuing, but think about how much money that is. It's like millions and billions of dollars is spent on lost hours because people are stuck in these conflicts and don't know how to deal. So what do? They replace people. I remember working with this company and they said, if we can just get rid of one person, this person is causing all the problems for us. And well, guess what? They got rid of it and get another person took their spot. So it's not the people, it's the patterns that people get stuck in. It's the patterns that we need to shape and change. All of that is written in our book, Emotional Connection, and The Connected Culture. It's a very cute book. It's lots of tips and techniques that you can use to nurture the relationship. But we definitely highly recommend listen to our podcast. And you want to change the cycle, because if you don't change the cycle will change you. Just like the other person says, I don't know why I'm angry all the time. Well, why is that? Because the cycle has changed this person. So by learning, and it takes time, it takes practice times, but think about in 5 years, you're going to still 5 years will pass, but at least you will have a better sense of your relationships. You're going to have a better sense of yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lola Gershfeld, and I help companies master the art of relationships so they can overcome interpersonal conflict issues and keep the talent they deserve.
We see that when people do that, they actually grow. They grow each other in these process. They help each other, and people just blossom.
Well, if people are already spending 4.5 hours at work dealing with conflict, they might as well be productive and
Yes,
deal
exactly.
with it and spend the time, because obviously building any skill set would take time. But this not only helps at work, but it helps in people's personal lives, with their family and their marriages, with their, friends. So it's really valuable.